Hare Krishna. So let's start the Srimad Bhagavatam classes today. The power of hearing Krishna Katha. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Anjana Salakaya Chakhur Nimile Tanjena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sopadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sijita Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavanam Cha Sirupam Sagrajatam Sagana Siraghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanasahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalitam Sri Visakam Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Sapta Kantana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishavanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Cha Patitanam Pavanabhya Vaishnavabhya Namo Namaha नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So thank you very much. Today we will Srimad Bhagavatam. We are going to study beautiful verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is a beautiful verse Srimad Bhagavatam here. Sinvanta sadhaya nityam grinantam sa chestitam kalena nati dirghena vasudeva bhagavati vasubhagavana visate hriday. So here says Sinvatah Sadhaya Nityam. So today is how important the gargantuan benefits, stupendous benefit of hearing Krishna Katha, the power of hearing Krishna Katha today we are going to discuss. And this beautiful verse from Bhagavatam spoken by Sukadeva Goswami, Sinvatah Sadhaya Nityam Grananta Sochestitam Kalena na arti dirghena Bhagavana Visate Hriday. Sinvataha means by hearing, Shraddhaya with faith, Nityam. Nityam means every day. Grinantasya chestitam. Grinantasya means very diligently or taking the matter very seriously. Not just hearing. They say Iskan means Iskan se suno Uskan se nikal do. That means hear in these ears and take it out from that ears. No, that is not the way of hearing Krishna Katha. So I will discuss how we can hear properly. This Bhagavatam also describes Sukadeva Goswami how to hear properly. So Grinanta so chestitam, by our own effort. Kalena narti dirghena. What will happen if we hear with faith every day and seriously, sincerely, putting our own effort? So what is the result of hearing Krishna Katha? Kalena na ati dirghena. Kalena means duration, time. Na ati dirghena means not so much time. That means very quickly. Bhagavana visate hurda. The Krishna will come and manifest in our heart. That means to see the Lord in our heart, the process is given here. Sinvataha sadhaya nityam. If every day with faith, if we hear Krishna Katha. So this is the power of Krishna Katha. Anybody who wants to see the Lord, who wants to invite the Lord in the heart, he can take this process given by Bhagavatam Sukadeva Goswami. That every day one should hear Krishna Katha. Regularly, Nityam. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neistiki. So Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Nitya. Every day one should hear. And taking is very seriously. Then Krishna will manifest, very quickly Krishna will manifest in our heart. Somebody may ask the question, Krishna is already there in the heart. Bhagavad Gita Krishna say that that I am there in everybody's heart. Sarvabhutanam hudesi tishtati Arjuna. Yes, Krishna is there in everybody's hearts, but the feeling of his presence is not there. We don't feel the presence of Krishna in our heart, although he is there in every living entity hearts as a super soul, Paramatma. But the feeling, the presence, feeling of his presence is not there. So by the process of hearing Krishna Katha seriously, sincerely, every day, what will happen? The presence is felt. He said that Bhagavan Visate Hudda. Tatra Kirtibi Sususribi Tatakyanat. Even Bhagavatam, the second verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, very first canto, second verse, he says that Tatra Kirtibi Sususribi Tatakyanat. Ishwara Avarudyate. He says that, what is that? Dharma Projita Kaitava Atra Param Nirmasaranam Satam. वेद्यम वास्तवम अत्र वस्तु शिवादम तपत्रमूलनम श्रीमद् भागवत महामणि करते किंबा ईश्वर परेरी सद्य हृदय से अवरुद्धते. As soon as we hear Krishna Katha, Lord enters. Our ears are like a front door. So when front door is opening to Krishna Katha, then Krishna enter and stay in our heart. Tatakyanad, immediately. Avarudyate, compacted in our heart. We feel the presence of Krishna. But when you close our front door, so Krishna cannot enter, Krishna Katha cannot enter into the heart. Heart is our bedroom, master bedroom. So heart has to purify, clean, in order to make the Krishna to come and make the seat. And we do not have to purify. Simply you have to open the front door, ears. Ears is the expressway or gateway to liberation. By hearing process is very easy. It's an expressway. It's a highway. You do not have too much, you don't have any kind of traffic jam, crowd. You can reach very fast. So here hearing is very important. Hearing is the gateway to liberation. Hearing is the expressway to Godhead. So therefore it is recommended here, Sinvanta Sradhaya Nityam Grananta Sochestitam. So one should hear Krishna Katha regularly. Then Krishna will come and sit in the heart. We will feel the presence of Krishna. Then Krishna, we do not have to do anything. This next verse it is say that we do not have to do anything. Simply we have to open the door of ears, front door. Then Krishna will come. What Krishna will do? पविष्टकन्नरान्द्रेण स्वानं भावस्वरूरहं धूनति समलां कृष्णा शरीरस्य सलिलस्य जथा शरत्. So Pravishtakannarandrena, when Krishna Katha means two types. Krishnasya Katha, iti Krishna Katha. Krishnasya Katha is two types. One is spoken by him, one is spoken about him. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. So when this Krishna Katha will enter Pravishtakannarandrena, through the ear holes, through our front door, Swanam Bhava Swaruraham Dhunati Samalam Krishna. So in the heart, the lotus of the heart, what it will do? Dhunati Samalam Krishna, it cleanses. Krishna will immediately take up and sweep all the dirty thing. Dhunati means cleansing. He will cleanse all our dirty thing from the heart. Our material suffering is just due to the dirtiness in the heart, inauspiciousness in the heart, because we are contaminated. Being spirit soul, we are pure, but as soon as we come in contact with the Maya or external energy of the Lord, we are contaminated. Our consciousness is adulterated. Our heart is contaminated, full of dirty garbage, envious, lust, kama, krodho, lobho, moho, mada, maschara. All these things are there in heart since time immemorial. It's piling up. Not just one life, since time immemorial. So it is completely, it is like a piling up. It's very difficult to, cleanse ourselves. We cannot do ourselves. Only thing we can do, we hear Krishna Katha and Krishna will come and clean. Otherwise, living entity cannot do that. It is stated in this beautiful that living entity himself cannot cleanse actually. It is very difficult for him to clean. Because a person who has been 11, 20 to 10, 10 beautiful verses. Because a person who has been covered by ignorance since time immemorial is not capable of effecting his own self-realization. There must be some other personality who is factual knowledge of the absolute truth can impart this knowledge to him. See? So this Krishna Katha, the urge to hear Krishna Katha or hearing Krishna Katha, that up to Nityam is not possible. Because we have been covered since time memorial ignorance, and due to ignorance we have so much dirty thing in our heart. We have accumulated, we have saved, we have deposited. So cleaning is not in our business. Prahlad Maharaj also told to his father that you cannot become Krishna consciousness. It is not possible by yourself unless we take shelter of a devotee. Then we will develop the urge of hearing Krishna Katha. Prahlad Maharaj very nicely said these beautiful verses. 7.5.30 Sri Prahlad Uvacha Matinna Krishne Parata Swata Va Mitho Vipadyate Grihavartanam Andant Gobi Visatam Tamisram Puna Charvita Charvananam Matinna Krishne. The attraction for hearing Krishna Katha cannot be aroused either by our individual effort or by hearing from others, or even together both. Mithovi padyate grihavartanam. It cannot arouse Krishna Katha because we are so much entangled since time immemorial. We are so much covered by ignorance, so much captivated by the sense gratification. Adanta govir visatam tabisram, uncontrolled sense gratification. Therefore, we lost the urge to hear Krishna Katha, and that cannot be aroused. We are on the way to hell because we are repeatedly doing the same thing life after life. Puna charvitam charmanana. Same thing, sense gratification. Ahara nidra bhaya mauchuna. Sleeping, eating, mating, defending. This animal propensity. Because we are so much captivated, indulged in sense gratification process of eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Therefore, we don't have any urge to hear Krishna Katha. So we need, only thing we can do that if we take shelter, if we open our front door ears, pravishta kanna randrena saruram swanam bhava saruraham dhunati samalam Krishna. So when you open the door, then Krishna Katha will enter and Krishna will himself, dhunati samalam Krishna. He says that Krishna cleanses all the dirty things. Himself Krishna cleanses all the dirty things. See how Lord is so merciful. He said, dhunati samalam Krishna. The Supreme Soul enter into the heart of self-realized devotee, sits on the lotus flower of his loving relationship, thus cleanses the dust of material association such as lust, anger and hankering. Thus acts like an autumn rain upon pools of muddy water. So just like an autumn season, when rain comes, all the muddy water come down, cleans. Similarly, when Krishna Katha enter, Krishna comes and cleanses all the dirty thing. All the auspicious thing is eliminated. All the auspicious thing eliminated. Therefore, when Sukadeva Goswami is doing the Mangalacharan, he is praying a beautiful verse. Yat kirtanam yasmaranam yadikhanam yadbandanam yasravanam yatarhanam lokosya sadhya vidunati kalmasam. By hearing Krishna Katha, lokosya sadhya means very quickly. Vidunati means cleanses perfectly, completely cleanses, no trace of any dust. any dust, speck of dust even. All the dust, vidunati kalmasam means all dirty thing. Kalmasa. Tasmai subhadra sarvesya namo nama. And it eliminate all and create auspiciousness in the heart. That is the effect of, that is the stupendous, tremendous effect of hearing Krishna Katha. People do not know this formula. Actually, our society, our Krishna consciousness is a society of hearing and speaking. Nothing else, Prabhupada said. We are the community of hearing and speaking, that's all. We don't have to do anything. It's a lazy way to go to back to Godhead. We don't have to do the austerity. We do not have to spend money for jagya. We do not have to do for the extravagant temple worship, all the complex program. No, simply we have to do that hearing and chant. Sit down and hear and chant. Somebody was telling very nicely, when someone is going to learn about classical music and all, classical singing or music, etc., to learn classical music, the first thing teacher teaches that how to sit down. Because when you, classical music, when you sing, you have to sit down for a long time. So this first practice is that you should know how to, one should learn to sit down properly. Similarly, in our spiritual things begins with the hearing process. We should learn how to hear Krishna Katha. Then everything will follow. All this chanting will follow nicely. All other services will follow nicely. So therefore, hearing process is very important. By hearing so many devotees, Parikit Maharaj, Durba Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, by hearing only they become a pure devotee. So how much important? Every day one should not neglect the hearing and chanting. Whole society, whole community, whole country, whole world is in mess simply because they do not sufficiently hear. They do not sufficiently hear Krishna Katha. It is very nicely say that. It is regrettable. It is very much regrettable that unfortunate people do not hear and discuss. Do not hear and discuss description of Vaikuntha planet, but engage in the topics which are unworthy to hear, which wielders one intelligent. Those who give up the topics of Vaikuntha and take to talk of the material world are thrown into the darkest region of ignorance. That is the use. They do not know. Their ignorance, avidya. They have no idea that if you do not hear Vaikuntha Katha, Krishna Katha, then you are thrown into darkest region of ignorance. You cannot purify yourself. You are more and more entangled into the Maya's hegemony, Maya's influence, and slide down to the darkest region of ignorance. So risky, so precarious. People do not know that. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, one time, one of the great politicians, he asked Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, what is your activity, sir? He told, our activities are, we are publishing 5 magazines. And one magazine is Delhi Harmonist, some Patrika, I think, Delhi. So we are producing so many news of Vaikuntha. So he was telling, what kind of news? Why you are so producing so much news and all the things? Then he explained very nicely. This material world is a very small, like a mustard seed. And this material creation is just a fraction of Lord's energy. And 75% is the Vaikuntha Loko. If this material world has got so many newspapers daily, how much newspaper we can produce, how many news we can produce for Vaikuntha Lok, Krishna Lok, the spiritual world. Every second we should publish newspaper. Because everybody should hear, and everybody has got the propensity of hearing. We cannot stop hearing, we cannot stop speaking. But hearing of Vaikuntha Katha, if it is not sufficient, then we are going to darkest region of ignorance. We cannot purify ourselves. Our material bondage, our material suffering, our material imprisonment, the soul is imprisoned in this body since time immemorial because of only factor that our heart is not purified. We are contaminated, we are adulterated. And only with some sublime method of decontaminated, disinfect our heart is Krishna Katha. Beautiful verses. Not only that, this 5 chapter, Canto 5, it is said that very nicely. Beautiful verses, the 5, 18, 19, I think Prahlad Maharaj. See, this is a beautiful verses, this verse. May there be good fortune throughout the universe. May all envious person be pacified. May all living entity become calm by practicing Bhakti Yoga. For accepting devotional service, they will think of each other welfare. Therefore, let us all engage in the service of Supreme Transcendent. Lord Krishna, always remain absorbed in thought of Him. You want the welfare of everyone, individually, collectively. Only method is hearing process. Bhakti Yoga begins with hearing. Then there is all around auspicity. When there is a hearing of Krishna Katha is going on, there is auspicity everywhere. There is auspicity. Who is speaking, he become auspicious. Who is listening, he is become auspicious. The audience also become auspicious. That is stated in these beautiful verses. That everybody become auspicious by simply the process of. This is beautiful verses in 10th canto. Vasudeva Katha Prasna Purusam Trinipunnantihi Bhaktram Prachakhyam Srotyam Tatpada Salilam Jatha. Beautiful verses. The Ganges emanating from the toe of Lord Vishnu purifies the three worlds, the upper, middle, lower planetary system. Similarly, when one asks question about pastime characteristic of the Lord Vasudeva Krishna, three varieties of men are purified: the speaker or preacher, and he who inquires, and the people in general who listen. Everybody become purified by the process of Krishna Katha. By this process of Krishna Katha. Sinvatam Sokatha Krishna Punya Sravana Kirtana is very pious. Hudantustani Abhadrani Sudhunati Vidunati Sruvasatam. So all this Abhadrani inauspiciousness from the heart will be eliminated simply by process of hearing Krishna Katha. Not only that, simply one appreciates the Krishna Katha. If Krishna Katha going on, one appreciates, though others are doing Krishna Katha very nice. So simply by appreciation also, one will get and get out from this material world. It is Kunti Devi is very nicely praying. Sinvati Sokata Sinvatam Sokatha Krishna Punya Sravana Sinvanti Gayanti Grinanti Abhiksnasaha Smaranti Nandanti Tavahitam Janaha Taeva Paschanti Achirena Tabakam Bhava Prabha Upasamam Bhava Prabha Uparamam Padam Bujam. Srinmanti Gayanti Grinanti Abhiksnasam. When there is Krishna Katha is going on, even a person is appreciating, even not hearing but appreciating this Krishna Katha. Taeva Paschanti Achirena Tabakam. Achirena means again, not ati dirghena, not so far, quickly, not so prolonged time, very quickly. Bhava Prabha Uparamam. Bhava Prabha means, Bhava Prabha means this Bhavaroga, this repeated birth and death. That will be stopped. The cycle of repeated birth and death, the wheelful of repeated birth and death will be stopped. And one can get the Padambujam, one can see the lotus feet of the Lord. So that is the benefit of Harikatha. So therefore one should hear Sinvatah Sradhaya Nityam. Sinvatah Sradhaya Nityam. Grinastha Sochestitar, with seriously, attentively, not like that, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva means sleeping. This is our sleeping. In our movement, the sleeping slokos is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. Wake up means Mahaprasade Govinda, immediately everybody wake up. No, we should be very seriously. It is stated in this beautiful verse, Sukadev Goswami is telling how one should hear. One should hear very, what you say, tas ravanam supathanam vicharanam parabhaktya vimuchena nara. This is the way one should hear. Sravanam means hearing, supathanam means memorize. You should note down, memorize, study, supathana. Vicharana means contemplate how to implement in the life. Not simply hearing and PhD in the head, kindergarten in the heart. No, we want PhD in the heart, PhD in the heart. That means we should implement. Simply knowledge for the sake of information. I am hearing, I am hearing. Prabhupada says, what is the use of that hearing? Routine work. Hearing means to take away something, to learn something and implement that in our life. That is proper hearing. Simply hearing for the sake of information, that is not good. That is just like a PhD. So much information I have got in the head. But implementation zero. Heart is like a kindergarten. As time, when the time comes to implement, render service to the Lord, we forgot all our sloka. What is the use of that? Therefore, vicharana para means contemplate how to implement in our life with devotion. Then what will happen? Vimuchena nara. Vimuchena means vishesha rupena. Not only we are liberated, but also we will go back to Godhead. Vimuchena nara. That is the result of hearing, properly hearing. Sravanam, tas sravanam supathanam vicharana paro. That is the way, process, this Bhagavatam process. Without noting down, what is the use of that? Supathanam. Remembers means remember to note down, Prabhupada says. Previously, there was one Veda, Atharva. Previously, that is called Veda. Veda means Shruti. By hearing, they remember. But now in Kali Yuga, things are being deteriorating. We don't have, what is called retentive memory, tenacious memory. So we do not have proper memory. Therefore, the Veda has been divided into 4 Veda: Atharva, Sam, Rig, Yadur Veda. So all these things, and not only that, 5,000 years back, the Srila Vyasadeva, they made it in the written so that we can remember, memorize. Otherwise, there is no way. Otherwise, Vedas actually should be heard, should be learned from hearing process, not from writing process. Because in Kali Yuga, we are so fallen. Out of compassion, Vyasadeva has compiled and written it in written form. He has presented in a written form of Vedas. That is called Supathanam. So in this is the process of hearing Krishna Katha. There is a beautiful verses in 12th canto is there. It says that words that do not describe the transcendental personality of Godhead but instead deal with the temporary matters are simply false and useless. Everything is useless if it is not describing transcendental personality of Godhead. Only those words that manifest the transcendental qualities of Supreme Lord are actually truthful, auspicious and pious. Very nice verse. Only the subject matter of Supreme Lord pastimes are actually truthful, auspicious and pious also. All others are not. It is false and useless. Sarma evhai kevalam. Sarma evhai kevalam. Simply useless. Therefore one should not hear anything other than Krishna Katha. This is a beautiful verses. It is stated that an intelligent person should not stay in that place when there is no Krishna Katha. 5:19:24. Very nice verse, this one. Najatra 5:19-24. The beautiful verses is there. नजत्र वैकुंठ कथा सुधापागन साधव भगवतास्तदाश्र नजत्र यज्ञ स मख्य महोत्सवा सुरेश लोकोपि न वैश्य सेव्यतम नजत्र वैकुंठ कथा सुधापाग. That means an intelligent person does not take interest in a place, even the topmost planetary system, if the pure Ganges of topic concerning Supreme Lord activity does not flow there. See? Intelligent person does not go there, does not care for these places, does not stay in that places. If there are not, they are not devotees, if there are not devotees engaged in service on the bank of such river of piety, if there are no festival of Sankirtana Yajna to satisfy the Lord, especially since Sankirtana Yajna recommended in this age. So beautiful verses. Najatra Vaikuntha Katha Sudapaga. If there is no Krishna Katha, Vaikuntha Katha, one should not stay. Intelligent people never stay that places. Na sadhava bhagavad tadasraya, where there is a place where the devotees are congregated and not glorifying, not hearing the Krishna Katha, we should also leave that places. No, I do not need this place. What is the use of this place? Useless. The previous verses it is said that it is useless. It is not truthful, neither it is auspicious nor pious. The previous verses we have heard, beautiful verses. Therefore, one should not stay in that place. That is recommended by Shastra. This is the beautiful verses. Tadeva ruchiram, this verses is very, very nice verse. He say that Tadeva ramyam ruchiram navam tadeva sasvana manaso mahotsavam tadeva sokranava sasasapnennam yad uttama sloko jasanugiyate. Those who are describing the glories of all famous personality of Godhead are attractive, releasable, ever fresh. Indeed, such words are perpetual festival for the mind. They dry up the ocean of misery. How benefit? They are attractive. Ramyam means attractive. Navam. Navajovanam. Krishna is always Navajovanam. His Katha also Navajovanam. Navam. Always fresh. Not like yesterday newspaper and today newspaper. Yesterday newspaper, they do not care. It's stale. But Krishna Katha is not stale. It's fresh. Every day, every moment it is fresh. Because Krishna is transcendental. He is Navajovanam. Always fresh. So his Katha is always Navam. And releasable. Ruchiram. Releasable. And Mahotsavam is a perpetual festival for the mind. And dry up all the misery. So how important Krishna Katha? If we neglect Krishna Katha, we are so misfortune. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada made a rule that every day we should hear Krishna Katha. Srimad Bhagavatam classes, afternoon classes, evening classes, all these classes to give an opportunity. Our society, as I told, our society is a society of listener and speaker. We give opportunity for both the listener to speak about Krishna and also hear about Krishna. In this way, we purify ourselves. It is auspicious, pious, truthful. It is relishing and it purifying. And it ends our all ocean of, dry up ocean of misery. That is the benefit of Krishna Katha. Krishna also say in the Uddhava Gita, it is very nicely said, 11th canto, that my dear Lord, those pious and saintly persons who in the age of Kali hear about your transcendental activities and also glorify them will easily cross over the darkness of the age. This is the only process of crossing this darkness of the age. Kali Yuga is full of inauspicious, abominable, very difficult to cross. People are so much, disharmony, dissension, discordance, quarrel, little bit of provocation, quarrel. short life, so many disturbances. So only way to cross this material ocean, darkness of the age, only to hear Krishna Katha. By hearing Krishna Katha, one can easily cross. यानी ते चरितानि स मनुष्य साधव कलु सिन्वन्तः कीर्तयन्तश्च तरिष्यन्ति अज्ञाततमः. One can cross, swim across. मदचीत सर्वदुर्गानि मद प्रसाद्यात् तरिष्यसि. न त्वं चेत् न त्वं अहंकारं स्वस्य Minakshasi. 1855, Krishna says that if you do not hear out of ego, why should I hear Krishna Katha? I have so many other varieties of Katha is there. Then you are put into darkest ignorance. You entangle yourself. You give yourself to Krishna, Maya. So the Krishna Katha is like a Lakshman Rekha. It's a magical, what is called? Magical boundary. As long as we are hearing Krishna Katha, we are inside the Lakshman Rekha. Just like Sita, Mother Sita, as long as he was inside under the jurisdiction of Lakshman Rekha, she was safe. As soon as she crosses, then she was captured and kidnapped by Ravana. Similarly, as long as we are hearing Krishna Katha, we are protected by a Lakshman Rekha, by Krishna, mercy of the Lord, by protection of the Lord. But as soon as we stop hearing all nonsense, then it is useless. Useless. Fruitless actually. We are in danger. We don't have any piety, auspicity to protect us from the Maya, onslaught of Maya. One more verses is beautiful. It is stated about the Krishna Katha. There are so many verses are like, Tava Vikriditam Krishna Aninnam Parama Mangalam. Everybody wants Mangalam in their life. Hearing about Khan, you cannot get Mangalam. But hearing about Krishna, you can get Mangalam. Kanna Piyusam Asadhya. You should, Kanna Piyusam, by years you should accept it. Tajjanti Anyas Priham Janaha. Beautiful verses. Oh my dear Krishna, your pastime are supremely auspicious for mankind. Tava Vikriditam Krishna Sumangalam. Ninnam Sumangalam. Very, very auspicious. An intoxicating beverage for the ears. Tasting such pastime, people forget their desire for other things. That is the only way we can stop desiring for all nonsense. Because we do not have sufficient talks, therefore people do not know out of ignorance. When there is sufficient talks of Krishna Katha, sufficient hearing of Krishna Katha, then everything will become auspicious. Everything become auspicious. Jaganamangalam, whole world become auspicious. Tava Sankritanam Jaganamangalam. Sukadev Goswami is telling one of the verses in 6th canto. Say that Tasmat Sankritanam Vishnu Jaganamangalam Amhasam Mahatam Apikorabhya Vidhi Aitinka Niskrama. It's a very, very beautiful verses. So this Sankritana movement is for the welfare of entire world. O king, take it seriously. Mahatam Apikorabhya, all the sinful activity become purged. Mountain of sinful activities become purged immediately, simply by process of Sankirtan. Therefore, particularly in this age of Kali, hearing and chanting, very, very important. Sumedasa, Jaggai Sankirtana, Jajanti Sumedasa. So this Hari Katha is so important. Therefore, a devotee should always try to hear about spiritual matter. So the Kapil Dev is advising, a devotee should always try to hear about spiritual matters and should always utilize his time in chanting the holy name of the Lord. His behavior should always be straightforward and simple. Although he is not envious but friendly to everyone, he should avoid company of persons who are not spiritually advanced. So this is the process how to advance in Krishna consciousness. Simply by hearing Krishna Katha, one can easily advance. There's another verses is there, it says that the same thing it is saying that सिन्मतं गृणन्तं वीर्यनि उधामनि हरेर्मुहुः यथा सुजाताय भक्त्या शुद्ध्यन् नात्मा वृताधिभिः. One who constantly hears and chants the holy name of the Lord, hears and chants about his activity, can very easily attain platform of pure devotional service, which can cleanse the dirt from one's heart. One cannot achieve such purification merely by observing vows and performing Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. Pure devotional service, one can come to the platform of pure devotional service by such hearing and chanting the activities of the Lord. How powerful is constantly hear nityam srinvanta sradhaya nityam. How important this is. The power of hearing Krishna Katha will liberate one and easily one can go back to Godhead. So this is another verses we can read. This is the beautiful verses, and 12:55. 7 process, what 7 benefit of hearing Krishna Katha. So it is said that if you Krishna Katha avismriti Krishna padararavinda khinonti abhadrani cha samtanoti satyasya suddhim paramatma bhaktim jnanascha vijnana viragajuktam. When we hear about Krishna padaravinda, avasmriti means hearing, remembering or hearing of. Remembering means Kali Yuga is hearing, manmana bhava. When you hear, you remember Krishna. Khinoti abhadrani. Khinoti means cleanse all the abhadrani, inauspiciousness and dirty thing. Khinoti means destroy all the abhadrani, everything inauspicious from the heart. And some tanoti, good fortune. It brings the good fortune. We are all unfortunate. Upadruta. It is said that not upadruta. It is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam that in Kali Yuga people are very manda sumanda matya manda bhagya. We are all manda bhagya in Kali Yuga. But that manda bhagya can be transformed, can be metamorphosed to subhagya. How? The process of hearing. When you hear, it become very fortunate. Sam tonoti become. It become very good fortune. Satasya of the heart. Sudhim, the purification, and purify the heart. Satasya Sudhim. Paramatma for the super soul. Bhaktim Gyan. So it will create a bhakti for Paramatma. It sprouts of the bhakti. Jasyang bhai sriyamanam Krishna paramapurase bhakti utpadayate punsam. Vyasadeva say that by hearing Jasyang bhai sriyamanam means by hearing Krishna, then it will sprouts of the devotional service for Krishna. Bhaktim Paramatma Bhaktim. Jnanam also knowledge. It will give such knowledge. And Vijnana realization, application. Viraga detachment. So there so many benefits of this Krishna Katha. Remembrance of Lord Krishna lotus feet destroy everything inauspicious, award greatest good fortune. It purifies the heart, bestow devotion for the Supreme Soul, along with knowledge, enriched with realization and renunciation. Bhagavata Vasudeva Bhagavati Janayati Asuvairagyam. Bhakti, renunciation, knowledge, every good fortune, auspicity, everything, and destroy all inauspiciousness, that things, everything is so beneficial. Gargantuan benefit of hearing Krishna Katha. But in Kali Yuga, people are so, it's regrettable that they are not interested. King Kulasekara is very nicely pointing out this thing, that It's so easy to remember Krishna, so sublime method. Simply by hearing process, one can easily, nati dirghena, kalena nati dirghena, easily can see the Lord in the heart. Bhagavana vasate hirda. But we so unfortunate people in this age of Kali, they do not like to be, they do not like to take the advantages. Asyajamet manusya lokam visam pibanti sudham parityaga. Narayana nam namani narayana gocharani anya vakya kukam patanti. Kulasekar very nicely pointing out, Asyajameta manusya loka, how wonderful, astounding thing in this human society. Visam pibanti, they are drinking nectar, poison. All this other katha, other than Krishna katha, they are all poison. Sruttavadini Rajendra Ninnam Santi Sahasra. All these Santis of different department of knowledge, they are like a bisa poison. But they like to drink that one. And they give up this Krishna katha, who is like a nectar. Visam pibanti sudham parityaga. Namani Narayana Gochurani, they are not interested in Narayana Nama, Narayana Katha. Anya Katha Kukam Patanti, they are all indulged in this ideal talk, politics, psychology, sociology, here and there, all sports, so many departments. Santi Saharsa, Apasyatam Atma Tattva Gruhesu Gruhamedinam. In the very beginning, Sukadev Goswami is addressing these beautiful verses. The Swarta Badini Rajendra, so many topics of hearing. But people are blind to this topic, Krishna Katha, Atma Tattvam, Krishna Tattva, the topics about Krishna. Therefore they are Griha Medhi. They are all useless, envious. So this is the very important verses, that important lesson for everyone, that the very sublime method of hearing Krishna Katha is the way of get out from this material world and back to Krishna. Therefore today's verses it is say that Sinvatah Sradhaya, hearing with faith, Nityam every day, Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya, Grinantas so chestitam. Grinantas means to take it very seriously, seriously hearing, not so called hearing, courtesy hearing, for matter of, for the matter of attending the classes, Prabhupada said no, or matter of, showing the, matter of showing up, no, seriously, so chestitam, own effort. Kalena nati dirghena, not so far, quickly. Bhagavana visate, the Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, will sit in our heart. So this process, if every devotee will follow, then one can easily see the Lord face to face. What to speak about going back? They can see face to face. Easy face to face. Just like we see our friend face to face. By process of hearing, one can see actually. This is only method of seeing the Lord, not by our eyes, but by ears. We cannot see the Lord by eyes, by the ears. It is stated in Bhagavatam, this is the last verse I will show before we disperse the class. Sachira Devaraja Sri Syadachutya Kathasraya Sinmantah Sadadhanasya Nityadas Syadadhiyataha. O best of king, one who is faithful, who is always hearing the glories of Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is always engaged in the culture of Krishna consciousness, and in hearing the Lord's activity, very soon become eligible to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. Very soon become eligible to see face to face. Simply by always engage in the culture of Krishna consciousness, in hearing Lord's activities, the pastime of Lord. Tava kathamrutam tapta jivanam. Gopis are also singing very nicely. Tava kathamrutam tapta jivanam kaviviriritam kalmasopamam. Sravanamangalam, by hearing everything become auspicious. Srimadattatam bhuvi grinanti bhuridadanaha. How glories the preachers, the speaker, they are glorifying the Lord's activities and giving opportunity for everyone to hear. Tava kathamrutam, your kathamruta is amruta. Tattva jivanam is a life and soul for those who are suffering in this material world. And that kalmasupam, that stop all this dirtiness, all the inauspicious things. This is the spoken by the gopis. So this is the beautiful year. So we will end here with the last verse. Vikriditam brajavadviridam cha vishnu srada sradanvita anusvared athavanayajja bhaktim parama bhagavati pratilabhya kamam hudrogam asu apyunanti achirena dhira. If a bona fide listener hears Krishna pastime with gopis, which seems to be lusty affair, the lusty desire in the heart, which constitutes the heart disease of the conditioned soul, will be vanquished, and he will become most exalted devotee of the Lord. If one who hears the gopis' lusty behavior with Krishna become free from lusty desire, certainly, see, he become exalted devotee by simply by hearing Krishna's pastime, Krishna Katha. That is the power of hearing Krishna Katha. Today classes, the theme of today classes, the essence of today's class, the quintessential philosophy of today's class. To take away lesson from today's class is power of hearing. Hearing is the expressway to Godhead. Ears is the gateway to liberation, not the eyes. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Gantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.